Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys to living your best life. It's freedomthroughastrology.com, and that's through spelled THRU because it's all about you. My name is Donald Patak. I'm your astrologer. There's my contact information for email. Any questions you have, please feel free to send there. And copyright Donald Patak using the standard YouTube license. And I'd like to point out, this is the weekly astrology forecast. I'd like to give you some of the keys to understanding this reading. First of all, I use what's called sidereal astrology or the visible sky, which I believe is a more ancient way of reading the sky. Tropical astrology fixes the signs to seasons. So we're coming up on the spring equinox. It's automatically going to be Aries in late March when we hit the equinox. However, if you go to the eastern sky right when the sun's rising and you see what constellations there, the sun's going to rise in Pisces. And that's the astrological age. So sidereal astrology or visible sky astrology gives you your astrological age. I create your chart in the astrological age that we're living in, helps you align your life. Secondly, I use the natural size of the constellations and astrological midpoints. There are astrologers who will have each constellation being the same size. In reality, Virgo, for example, is between 45 and 50 degrees, depending on who's doing the measuring and the calculations. Aries, Scorpio, and I think Cancer, all three of those are less than 25. So the constellations are all different sizes. I go by that. And this astrological midpoints, the boundaries that everybody's familiar with in the sky are created by the IAU, or International Astronomical Union. They don't care about astrology. They just drew the borders wherever they wanted. Athens Shamenti came up with a midpoint system that uses the zodiac belt to figure out what is the actual halfway point between the two constellations. I use that. In ancient times, there was a 13th sign called Ophiuchus. It's between Scorpio and Sagittarius. It's the wounded healer. It's where you're wounded in life so that you can heal yourself and then ideally help others with similar wounds heal. So I do use 13 signs. If you want to know a little bit more about that, if you can find the book, The Lost, I can't now. There we go. The Lost Zodiac by Catherine Tennant. It does have a little bit on Ophiuchus. Very interesting. These are the weekly transits. So what I'm reading are the universal lessons. So this is transiting planet to transiting planet, or a planet entering a sign. I do not, this is not the personal, well, you can apply it to yourself personally, and I certainly hope everybody does. But what this is not is me taking this to your natal planet. That's another reading. I can talk about that later. Finally, I read what's called evolutionary astrology. These are the lessons. So I'm going to talk about the lessons, the planets and the signs as teachers, and that there are lessons that they're offering in each lesson, and you have freedom of choice. You can choose to learn the lesson, succeed, learning the skills and becoming that type of a person, or you can choose to do something else. And I call it the learning the lesson or the shadow. And then there's the shadow, which is not learning the lesson. And I have a cat called Shadow, so sometimes it drives her crazy. This is the weekly transit report for February 19th through the 25th, 2024. This is pretty much a very quiet week. As opposed to the last couple of weeks and next week, which all incredibly busy. This week, what you see on screen is pretty much it. The moon is steady. It starts in Gemini, goes a couple days in Gemini, spends a day and a half in Cancer, spends the bulk of the week in Leo. And then on next Sunday, steps into Virgo. Mercury steps into Aquarius, sign change. The big transit of the week is Venus conjunct Mars. And at the end of the week, Venus and Mars are both in a square to Jupiter. And aside from two other transits, that's it. So this is a very calm and quiet week. It does not mean it won't be intense or deep. So don't be misled by that. So, and like I said, this is our overview of the week. The Jupiter sextile Saturn, we've been dealing that for a long time. That's over Monday morning. Chiron conjunct the North Node. That is going to be going on, healing your destiny. Venus conjoined Mars in Capricorn in relationships and having the courage to work on them. As you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. So that is, this is going to be a week to be working on relationships, honestly, if there's one thing to pick up. And over the weekend, Venus squaring Jupiter and Mars begins to square Jupiter. Very quiet week with the exception of the moon. Gemini, I think here it's in Cancer, and then all the way through here in Leo, then Virgo. So here we go. This is the finishing of the final of this transit. Jupiter, how you dream and having the courage to dream is exciting. Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is doing the great work of your life. In Aquarius, being your authentic self. So it's having these dreams and having and being able to dream about having in Aries, having the courage to dream big about becoming your authentic self. That ideally is what it is. The shadow is selling yourself out for something less than you deserve. Not dreaming at all. Dreaming that you can, the shadow of Saturn in Aquarius is selling yourself out and just trying to fit in and becoming a copycat or becoming something totally eccentric. And Jupiter is like, oh yeah, if I do this, I'll fit in or whatever. Or if I would only just fit into that copy and if I become a copycat, I'll fit in and people will accept me. Not going to happen. And the other one being eccentric and Jupiter coming up with all these crazy ways to be eccentric, bad thing to happen. Focus on and ask yourself, who am I authentically? How do I become that person? And ask what dreams do I have that can help me? That's over on Monday. This has been a pretty long transit there. This started back on February 15th and is going to go into early March. Chiron, conjunct the North Node. Chiron, healing your destiny. You're an evolutionary intention. As I was working on this, particularly for myself, is like, well, where is my North Node? What is my evolutionary intention, and how is North Node in Pisces helping me to heal that? Look to see where your North Node is, because that is telling you what your evolutionary intention is, and that in Pisces is about being able to see it from a different perspective, separate yourself from a little bit, rise above it even, and release the things that are holding you back. And releasing what? Chiron, the wounds. Releasing the wounds that are holding you back from from realizing your evolutionary intent. Let's see, what else do I have here as my notes? Be willing to work with the opportunities that come your way. Also, be open to receiving help from mentors. There are people who may come your way and offer to mentor you and help you through this. Be open to that. The shadow is refusing to heal can lead to a deeper wounding and just seeking ways to escape the pain of failure. So look to see where your North Node is so that you understand what this evolutionary intention is and how releasing the wounds can help you to achieve that intention. And finally, on Sunday, today, the day I'm recording this, February 18th, Moon enters Gemini, and this is late in the day. Moon is your emotions, and Gemini, curiosity. You're emotionally curious, emotionally ready to learn. You want to learn. You may feel you need more information. Curiosity may be sparked. Life can pick up a little bit, encounter unexpected information. Like a cat that wants to cross my keyboard. Please don't do that, Tuxedo. Thank you for sitting on top of my clipboard. I love cats, I really do. Which is why I have 7 of them. One of them, a mother cat that ran into my house and had the litter. Live with it. Back to the reading. Emotionally curious, excited to learn, excited for these opportunities. You may encounter unexpected information and opportunities. Be open to that. This is going to be going for several days, late Sunday, Monday, I think into Tuesday-ish. Be careful of talking too much as a way of avoiding learning, and also be careful of feeling that you can't learn anything or can't get it. If you're feeling that, if you're either talking too much as a defense mechanism or, oh, I can't learn that, no, good Lord, I'm turning into a theater. It's been a day, I'm sorry. But if you feel that you can't learn, that's another side of the shadow. Gemini, it'll either talk too much and be a know-it-all as a defense, or feel that it can't learn. So if you're falling into that, you're in the shadow. Look to what it is you can learn and be open to it. Which ties nicely into our big long transit for the week. Let me move myself down here. Venus conjunct Mars in Capricorn. Let's take this as a basic. Venus, relationships, being open to receiving help from others, how you work with other people. Also, it's not in any of my books really, but I use it. Venus also, because of its rulership of Libra and Taurus, dealing with the arts, how about your creativity. And Mars, courage and assertiveness. This week, big lesson, learning to have courage and assertiveness in your relationships. And in Capricorn, be willing to do the work. And let me say, assertiveness, or being assertive does not mean being a jerk. There's a big difference. So look up what it means to be assertive. There's some great YouTube videos on that where they teach you assertiveness skills. And assertiveness is, I believe, to me, I'm going to give you a simple here. I believe this, you believe something different. Fine, you believe that. I respect you. I ask that you respect me. You don't have to try to convert me either. Don't bother trying. Capricorn is about doing the work and building integrity. And having integrity and having the courage to build that integrity in your relationships. And being really creative too. I'm going to throw that. I just wish that that was in more of the text, because I think that's something that the transits don't cover, and I think it should. The shadow of this transit is getting involved in pointless relationship conflicts or even avoiding it altogether. Sometimes, and there is something called a healthy argument where you have that disagreement, but it leads to deeper understanding. So where you have these hard discussions and it leads to a deeper understanding and deeper respect for each other, that's a healthy argument. And look to see what an argument really is. It isn't two people yelling at each other. There's much more to it. But ideally, these hard discussions that lead to a deeper understanding and actually strengthen the relationship and doing that work. But the shadow is these pointless arguments, yelling, or even trying, peace at any price. Okay, I'm sorry, I give in. And you really don't have peace at all. You've got nothing. But that is the transit for the week. Be learning courage and assertiveness in your relationship so that and ultimately that's a sign of you respecting yourself. And it starts with you respecting yourself. So doing the work of earning healthy respect. Okay. So there's that. And this goes all week, 19th through the 24th. That's Saturday. Long transit. So big week working on relationships. On Wednesday, here we go. Wednesday, the moon enters into Cancer. The moon, your emotions, Cancer, nurturing, taking care of yourself. Make sure you this is the next today on Wednesday and Thursday. It's going to be, weeks are long. Wednesday's a nice day to make sure you're taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. Time to be gentle with yourself. Do a little healing. Be open to those who can help you heal the way you need to. And we're talking physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing. I mean, all sorts of healing comes on many different levels. Be open to the opportunities to heal. The shadow of the moon in Cancer, not Capricorn, Cancer, is whining and holding a pity party. Little thing I heard about pity parties. When you throw a pity party, very few people come. Those who do come don't bring gifts. Pity party, exaggerating your needs. These are all points of the shadow. The question is what is truly nurturing to you? How do you really take care of yourself? So Wednesday, Thursday, take some time. How do you emotionally take care of yourself, etc.? Focus on that. Also, on Wednesday, Mercury enters Aquarius. We're going to get into a lot of Aquarian energy, and heads up, next week it's going to get really intense because we're going to have Mercury, Sun, and Saturn all conjunct in Aquarius. Next week, red flag warning, it's going to be interesting. But nonetheless, Mercury, your intelligence, learning, communication, being open to new ideas. And in Aquarius, individuality, authenticity. It's time to embrace independent thinking and speaking up for yourself and speaking your truth and your beliefs. And look at what's before you and ask, does it truly matter? This is a time for you to examine what you think, what you believe, how you think, etc., and what is really authentic to you. Aquarius wants to be authentic. Aquarius wants to be real. So that's what this is about. Falling into the shadow is being a pointless contrarian. And as I was writing this up, what popped into my mind was that wonderful Monty Python skit known as the Argument Sketch. Warning, the opening of that is very blue, but when they get into the argument, yes, it is. No, it isn't. Watch it; it's hilarious. But that's a shadow Aquarius where two people are just arguing over each other, not listening. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Nobody's learning anything. A healthy argument is really an intense discussion that leads two people or more to have a better understanding of each other and each other's perspectives. Enough said on that. But falling into pointless contrarian, rebel without a cause, rebel without a clues, and engaging in mindless arguments about what is wrong with everything, wasting your time. Or second shadow with Aquarius. The other shadow of Aquarius is selling out to fit into the crowd and thinking that if you do this, you're going to earn the approval of others. So giving in to the crowd and following the crowds because it seems to be easier, you're going to feel like a square peg in a round hole. And they're going to know it too because they're all in the same situation. Trying to be a copycat to fit in doesn't work. Believe me, wasted my teenage years trying to do it and college years. Didn't work. Okay. Thursday, we got the moon entering Leo, and moon's going to be here until late Sunday. And the moon, your emotions want what? Leo, appreciation, ability to express yourself and be appreciated for it. And get over, and my notes here say, get over the fear of being vulnerable. Yeah, this takes risk for you to stand up, get out there and be yourself. But when you do it and you get that, you want what you're doing for is because you want the appreciation and you want to be appreciated for what you're doing. So that's what this is about. Being vulnerable, step up, be seen so you can be appreciated for who you are. That's a lot of this week, especially when you look at that Venus-Mars transit, tying in these other transits, really, really not a lot happening, but what's happening can be very deep and intense. So emotionally, you're looking for appreciation, and being your authentic self can kind of help you with that. Be careful of playing to the crowd instead of being real. Again, this is and this is that shadow of Aquarius that I was just talking about. If everybody is pretending to be a fan of some team and you're like, oh yeah, I like those teams, but you can't answer any of the questions, everybody can smell a phony. Or most people can anyways, but be careful playing the crowd instead of being real. Being a phony will leave you feeling empty. So look for those situations where you can be authentic, where you can be real, and people will appreciate you for it. That's what you want. Saturday, here we go. Venus in Capricorn in a square to Jupiter in Aries. The other transit is almost over at this time. This is like the tail end of it, but Venus, relationships, creativity in a square challenge to Jupiter, dreaming. Jupiter is how you dream. And it's Jupiter's dream, wants to dream big. Jupiter in Aries is having the courage to dream big. Dreaming big about what? Building relationships, dreaming big about being creative and doing the work about being creative. That's what this is about. Face the challenge of being openly, being openly spontaneous, a little frivolous, fun. But that's what this is about. That challenge of dreaming big about your relationships, your creativity, working with other people, and the good things that can come out of it. And I tell people, squares, everybody says, oh, squares are bad. Squares are challenges. Yeah, they're hard. But if you work at it, it's a 90-degree angle. It builds strength. Think about a weightlifter. That resistance builds strength in weightlifters. If you go up to the pyramids, they're giant triangles, but when you get up to them, what are they built on? Squares. That tension builds strength, and it builds something that's going to last. Work with the square, build strong, dream about building strong relationships and how you can do that. Incredible. Courage to dream big about what you want. Take action to build these relationships. That's the other part of it. Shadow of this transit is overreaching in relationships out of fear or not reaching out at all. That's the other thing. I don't have that down, but I should have it. Also falling into idle, I have it here, but in a different way. Also falling into idle daydreaming and doing none of the work. Both of those will lead to loneliness. Shadow of Capricorn is loneliness. So having the courage to do the work to build strong relationships. Powerful. Be careful, ghost. Oh, thank you. Cats and computers. Yes. On Saturday, we have the full moon in Leo, and I drew the triangle in this week. And so what you have is the sun in Aquarius in an opposition to the moon in Leo. So sun, your ego, yourself, and you came here to have a healthy ego, and your emotions, your emotional self, your soul, wanting to do what? Ideally, it's a balance and it's a reflection, and you're reflecting. Aquarius, my authentic self. Am I expressing my authentic self to the world? And I have the triangle in here because if I don't have it in there, it's a tug of war. And that's the shadow being pulled one way or to the other way and getting out of balance. When you learn to balance it, it's a powerful energy and it works together incredibly well. When he's balancing his authenticity and appreciation, the authentic self is looking for opportunities to express itself and receive appreciation for being real on a weekend. So go out, have some fun, be real, and have people say, wow, that's really neat. Cool. Shadow of this transit is becoming a drama king or a drama queen and demanding to be seen or selling out completely in order to fit in and drawing yourself attention to yourself doing that. Either way, the real self is wounded and can become more emotional or expressive in a negative way. So, you know, on the other shadow of Leo is not wanting, the lion that doesn't want to roar is never going to be seen, so it's hiding out. So your authentic self hiding out, the cowardly lion, don't want to be seen. Oh, don't. But so there you go. That's on Saturday. So Saturday, look for your the ability to express your authentic self. Sunday, Mars in Capricorn squaring to Jupiter in Aries. And take it simple. Mars having the courage to dream big. Excuse me a second. Sinuses. Yeah, having the courage to dream big. And Aries wants to, and Mars rules Aries. So this is like kind of a bit of an exclamation point. So Mars having Aries has the Jupiter and Aries, the courage to dream big. Mars wants to do the work, the challenge of doing the work to make that dream become a reality. So, and like I said, squares, this is hard. So it's doing the hard work of making the dream become real. Gonna be challenged, but yeah, it's time to define victory, work to achieve it, face the challenge of taking risks, define what success means, and then do the work to make it happen. And Mars is having the courage to do the work, build your integrity, build your character, and do it in what? Making a dream real. Define victory. Shadow of this transit is falling for a fantastic scheme or not wanting to dream at all and just falling like, oh, I can do this safely and feeling empty. Also wasting time away dreaming and achieving nothing, living in fear and serving time in a prison of underachievement. You know, not, oh, this is a safe thing. I can do this, and you feel hollow and empty. Go big, and then do the work to achieve it. You know, what's that movie? Build it, and they will come. You know, I don't even know where this is coming from. This is not the way I heard it. Never mind. Okay. That starts on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think this starts on Sunday and ends on Wednesday-ish. Oh, that's right before the leap year. Okay, cool. Also, late Sunday, Moon steps into Virgo, ties nicely into the Capricorn thing because Jupiter, Mars, you know, hey, dream big. Hey, I want to do the work. The moon in Virgo is saying, okay, I want to achieve this. I need some help here, and these are some skills I need to develop. So this transit here, which is going to parallel the previous transit, the Mars and Jupiter, I want to achieve this dream. These are the skills I need to learn. So this is actually going to actually help you with that. Um, Time for some self-evaluation, see what skills can be improved, and be responsible. Plan out your next steps, like moving things so that my cats don't knock them around and getting better organized. So plan out your next steps and do what it is that'll help you achieve victory. The shadow of this is falling into endless worry. Bless you, kitten. That's, oh, that's not shadow, that's ghost. It's hard to tell ghost and shadow apart because they're almost the same size. Shadow's the mother, ghost is the son, and they both look like they look like twins. Okay, I'm off on a tangent. Moon and Virgo, self-evaluation, reflect what skills do you need so that you can succeed and focus on learning them. Make a plan, focus on learning them. And there we go. Short week, but deep. Follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you go to freedomthroughastrology.com, and remember it's with the U, I've got links on the bottom of the page. Take you right there. I'm also a member of the Digital Soul Space, which is a online collective, group, whatever you want to call it, that's focused on these metaphysical topics, astrology, crystals, you name it. You've got a question, you got a curiosity. To me, this is the best place to go. It is privacy focused, and the people in there are wonderful. By the way, troll free zone. There's a paid version, there's a free version. Paid version, of course, gets you everything, but the money goes to help support the website because it's done through Mighty Networks. And like I said, troll free zone, it's a great place and a lot of really good people. And you can ask a question and people give you good answers. Every question I've answered has been incredible. So, site reminder, let me get to there and go to here. And this is freedomthroughastrology.com. We're still working with the coach, and I've got a new page and another site coming up shortly that's going to help out a lot. So there's that. If you didn't want that to happen, it's been one of those days. There we go. If you click on subscribe, it takes you to this page where you can sign up for my newsletter. Kitten was stepping on papers and was going to take a dive onto my laptop. Sign up with the email and receive a free weekly newsletter. Weekly newsletter. I have dyslexia and I stutter. Have fun with that one. I give a summary of the major astrological events, an astrological insight, exclusive subscriber-only discounts and offers. And if I do any live appearances or events, I will let you know about that. Just give me an email once a week with that. If you're saying, hey, I want to have a reading with this guy and I want to know more, click on scheduling, book an appointment. I do birth chart, karmic or past life. These transit readings are the predictive readings, and I read these with the transit to transit, but I also look at transit to your birth chart. Two different ways of doing the reading, and I do both of them so that you get the most information and the most important information. I can do that on the month, the quarter, or a year-long reading. I've got to add in the life cycle reading, very powerful. And like I said, I read 13 signs. I do read whole sign, but if you say you want a different house, like Placidus, Campanus, Regiomontanus, somebody asked for that. It's an interesting house. I'm not bound by one. My job, my responsibility as astrologer actually is to help you find the house system that works best for you. I read all the suns, I read all the planets, the nodes, asteroid Chiron, use midpoints. I interpret using evolutionary astrology. For these readings, if you want quick questions, I do those. Got to clean that up a little bit. My schedule doesn't work with yours. If you click on services, I do all these via recordings where you receive a Zoom link to a recording that you can download, watch, generate questions, and then we work it out to that you get a short follow-up and you can ask me questions, play 20 questions, whatever you want to call it. Whatever I offer live one-to-one, I offer recording. The only exception is this quick 6 reading. I only do that via recording. And if you want to see, hey, how would my chart be different? Go with the quick 6 because I read 6 points: sun, moon, ascendant, chart ruler. Please. Okay. Cats have been the bane of my technology. Sun, moon, ascendant, chart ruler, south node, and north node. Nice way of you seeing how your chart would be different under visible sky. And last but not least, if you click on blog, you can find all the transits. And this is these are my notes for the weekly. But if you click on the blog, I give you the weekly transits, but throughout the week, I do the other, I take a transit or two and I dig deeper into it. If it will load, there we go. I will take a transit and dig deeper into it and give you a more thorough understanding. So that being said, thank you very much. Like, follow, share. Have yourself an incredible week, and I look forward to seeing you in next week's astrology forecast. And for everybody who wants to see, this is Ghost. Okay, trying to get him to turn around. He wants me back. Have a good week, everybody. Oh, there's his face. He is adorable.